doing, man? Wow. We're back to Man United agenda, yes. And even though it's Man United agenda, we love football. And we have to give props because both myself and Bath Time just watched the Champions League game between Arsenal and Real Madrid. And we have to giving them a salute. What a fantastic game of football. Bath Time, long time no see. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I feel it's moments like this that you really realise how special football is, and you have to give credit where it's due. Can we talk? Yeah, we're going to quickly touch on the game for half time. We're going to go and talk about it a bit more, but we've so much to talk about tonight with our pending game as well. Hopefully, we can have a night like that. But just your initial thoughts after that experience of beating
On the
Real Madrid?
Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Sensational stuff. I mean, like, I know we don't like Arsenal, etc., but you can't not give them credit and appreciate that is it. Like, it feels like a really kind of almost historic night in European football, with Declan Rice kind of a bit like Gareth Bale against Inter Milan, like announcing himself as a sort of world-class match winner from defense. He was box to box tonight, but it was a wonderful game of football, and it made me think about, like, sort of sticking with Amorim, giving a manager a long time and backing him. You see what Arsenal have built with the match-going fans behind them having the time of their life, like, and also that Mikel Merino finish was beautiful as well. I know Rice hit two worldies, but that Mourinho finish, I mean, that's a defensive midfielder who's better than any striker we've got at our football club, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was a great night, and it's nights like this that reinvigorate your love for proper football.
Yeah. Beautiful words there, Bath Time. Well said. Look, like I say, we're football supporters. We love the game, and that was special. Let's go to the comments. I'm sure you guys, regardless of us being a Man United fan channel, we love football. So does Andrew Williams. He said, Declan Rice, take a bow. What performance. Big up to Sydney. Saying, Declan Rice, you went and showed the world why Arsenal paid 100 million for you. Bartha, can I just say credit to you, because a long time ago, you once again, you're very good at this. You're like a prophet, but you did sort of really big up how good a player Rice was. I remember we played West Ham one time, and you really sort of showed me in detail what he'd done really well. And it's more than that. He's just a great character, a great worker, but technically, as he showed today, great player as well. Andrew Williams saying, when is the last time someone scored two world-class free kicks in one game? Can't remember that happening. I did not know Rice had that in his locker since Titanium. Bex or Janino of Leon won surely. Yeah, these are great free kick takers, but those two tonight were special. Yes, Andrew Williams, bigging up everyone in the chat. Stephanie Griffiths, how are you? Rice wasn't overcooked tonight. Very tasty performance. Bend it like Basmati. Very good. She's great with her wordplay, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, and Titanium agrees. Yes, big up to my good friend Stuart. How you doing, man? It's a good evening all. Stuart, I was looking at on social media today. I believe you're going to the Lyon game. If you are, just give us a shout in the comments just to confirm that. If you are, that would be
you need a translator. Stephanie's giving jokes. Big up to Yabs and BT. That would be Bath Time. It used to be BTWV, but they've shortened it up now. Yeah.
Stuart Red saying, you won't see two better free kicks in any long time. Big up to Richard Herbert as well. How you doing? Brother of Anthony. He's a Man United fan, Richard is. And we know Anthony's an Arsenal fan. So hopefully Anthony's enjoyed himself. Yeah, the first one in particular don't see many better technical free kicks. Wow. Big up to Overhead Kick TV. How you doing, my friend? He says, big up to Yabba and Bath Time. Thank you. Bart is in the chat. He says, hi all. Hi, Bart. Have you met Stephanie? Or sorry, Sydney, Bart. Quick transition there. We've got Tyrone in the house as well, saying Arsenal love is making me want to pee. Oh, come on. Tyrone, come on. We love the game. We love the game. Richard Herbert saying here, just got my voice back after a 96-minute winner for Bristol City at Ashton Gate. We were 6 points clear of 7th place in the playoffs. Now in Championship, hopefully we're going to go up and be playing Man United soon. Yeah, I think there was a stat the other day, Bath Time, of all the teams in the Championship, Bristol City were rated, and Millwall were rated as the biggest teams not to have yet played in the Premier League. So hopefully, and Bristol City are pushing at the moment. So good luck to them. We're going to follow their progression. Hopefully, they can get up into the Champions League. Big up to everyone, by the way. We're here in the Man United Agenda to talk football. And yeah, let's just touch on this game because this is the level. This is the level we want. I saw a great game earlier with PSG against Man City. I thought that was fantastic. But I think it got trumped today by the performance of Arsenal today. Can I just say, like, when I was watching the first half, Bath Time, I was watching it and I was so intensely into the game and, you know, the battles and the tactical battles and everything was going on. I got a feeling that this is so special. Something just told, maybe it's come screen and struck. This is special. Even at 0-0, I thought this is special. Something's happening here. It was really good because Arsenal weren't bowing down. They weren't afraid. They were solid. They were no fear of reputations and that kind of thing. Really stood up to them. And from that base there, I started to think, wow, Arsenal could actually do something here. And it was a special night. And big up to all you fans, Arsenal fans. Going to my friend's at a game now with his son, taking his son, he's 21, for his first Arsenal game. And they sent me videos and everything live, going off. Obviously, they're giving me some, but it's just.
What's his first game?
It's his first. It's his son's first game, Arsenal game.
Wow!
Imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bath Time, talk to me. I mean, what are the special things about the game today that you?
Well, so I think like this season and sort of like last season at Arsenal, one of the big question marks that was thrown at them was how they handled like Man City away, with people pointing out that like basically to win the league, like in the last sort of 20, 25 years, you had to come beat United at home. Like, you know, like obviously Drogba with that offside goal, Sylvan Wiltord, stuff like that. You had to go and you had to mix it with the big boys. And Arsenal hadn't really done that before. But tonight they set out on the front foot to go at it. And I think that this team, I think that this Real Madrid team isn't all that. Like, I'm not huge fans of them.
Okay.
I think like, you know, Mbappe is obviously an extremely good forward. I'm not convinced by Vinny Jr. I'm not convinced by Bellingham. I think Rodrigo's like a good player. Modric, I mean, he was eaten up by Partey and Rice this evening. But I think that they're easily gettable by a top Premier League team because they don't see there's no sort of cohesion to them, like in defence and the midfield. And you've got to remember there was that mad moment where they did 3 clearances off the line. And then I think Bellingham actually cleared off the line a couple of seconds later. I felt that they couldn't cope with the intensity of Arsenal's play. And even the moments they did get, like there was a lax pass by someone and Mbappe got through. There was a lax pass and Vinny Jr. like got through. They just didn't take their moments. And Arsenal basically, I felt, steamrolled them all game. They won their physical battles. The only real moment from Mbappe was he went on a crazy run right at the end, and I assume he dived for a penalty. I never saw the replay because Camavinga had got himself sent off. But they were outstanding, Arsenal, and they showed what happens if you get big physical lads that can play technical football and work together, and the importance of set pieces.
Yeah. I mean, look, we were on the receiving end of their corners early in the season. They scored a brace of goals from corners from us against us. So we sort of realised how good they are at set pieces. And prior to the goal, I mean, when they set it up, it was Saka's just come back from fitness, hasn't he? And I thought he played brilliantly in his little combinations with Odegaard. And, you know, what amazes me is that he gets the respect. Once he stays out wide, once he gets the ball, you notice people don't rush him or take him lightly. He jockeys. He enables other people to create space and make runs off the ball. He's always looking for something, and he can go right, he can go left, but he must be like super strong, because the way he doesn't get weights off the ball, doesn't get moves off the ball. People respect him. They back off him. They're jockeying him. You know, he's got the respect of the football world.
Do you rate him now?
You know what? I never used to, but I didn't realize the consistency. If you consistently do something over and over again, you know, because sometimes you look at Vinny. You mentioned Vinny there, and he said, "Oh, not very impressed." But Vinny's direct. He runs. He bursts people. He's got pace. He goes for it. But Saka in this team is very effective, and it seems like when you see him up against the best, like he was today, he's still able to get that respect. And you know, that's what you need. Need good balance. It must be great seeing young players come through the side like him, and you know, for Arsenal fans right now. But I want to give him respect for the way he performed to come back from injury today, and the defense stood up as well. And I think Bath Time just moved tactically as well. Just what I noticed as well today is Arsenal, they made the pitch small when they had the ball. You remember you said before about the defensive line and the attacking line in your opposing half, making it small like that. And the defenders were, you know, pushing up quite high, although keeping that insurance there. They made the pitch small, and then whenever the ball got turned over, they were there to pounce. If you saw a rest defense, whatever you say like that, but they were there to pounce it with that. It might be a bit risky, but because they're so drilled at it, I think that was very effective for them.
They're strong as well.
Yeah, suffocated Real Madrid.
Like their defenders are like able to deal with those spaces in behind, and like Saka and Trossard or whoever, like Martinelli, they start out very narrow as well, so that you've always got them in jail with that. I think it's called minimal width. That's the buzzword for it. We just said put people in jail, and to do that against like players like Vinny and Mbappe, you'd think is a gamble, but those defenders, man, they're as athletic as the forwards now, and they can match them over 40, 50 yards. So it really shows like why our recruitment at United has got to be focused on players. If you want to play like that, you've got to be able to cover those spaces and compete as you're running through those spaces. Because as much as we all love Luka Modric on this channel, he was not able to deal with the power of the Arsenal midfielders, in particular Partey and Rice. Like he couldn't keep up with them, and he didn't have anyone there to sort of look after him, as it were. So everyone's got to be on it physically now.
Just go through a few comments here, talking about the game and individual players as well. Overhead Kick saying they might bottle it in Spain. Even if they did, what they did tonight was a big result for them. It's going to be tough, but 3-0, you'd think that'd be enough, but you just never know, do you? Andrew Williams saying Partey was unbelievable for Arsenal tonight, as you were just saying at Bath Time. We've got Stuart saying here Mbappe's overrated. What has Mbappe ever won after winning the World Cup and a few titles in France? Andrew Williams saying here, still some good teams left in the competition. PSG would take some beating, and the Inter seem to be solid at the back. Don't forget Barcelona, says Stephanie Griffiths. We got Andrew Williams saying, yeah, Barca got a lot of goals in them this season. Vinny Jr. isn't all that either. So Vinny and Mbappe getting a few.
Who would you take, Yabba? If you could get one at United?
Probably Mbappe. But I like Vinny though. I do like him. I'm not here to disrespect any of these players. You guys say you got your opinion. Respect. We respect them. They're obviously at a high level for a reason. Just because they've lost today doesn't mean they're poor players. They're definitely affected.
He hasn't been very good for a while though, Vinny. He's in poor form, I believe.
Okay. Can we say hi to Mr. Potus? I hope you enjoyed the game as well. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. He's saying, big up everyone. Hope you're well. It's been a minute. Yeah, it has indeed. Big match on Thursday.
Don't tariff our super chats, please.
He's in Canada. Yeah. Saka is so balanced, isn't he? He's just so strong and balanced. Barca will win it. Arsenal will bottle as they always do, says Stuart the Red. Valverde is crap too. Come on, guys. Give these guys a break. Bart is saying here, Enrique was right in getting rid of Ugarte. He was ridiculed in the summer, but his first choice midfield fits his system. and has hit the ground running. Kudos for getting 60 million for a bench player too. Putting the boots in there a bit. Look, we got him. We got to try and do our best with what we got. And we got Xerxes. We don't need Mbappe or Vinny, says I'm Titanium. And big up to my Drayton Manor school friend. It's Damien Walsh. She says, good evening, the United Agenda. Quick one, and in return to you, Bath Time. Funny Bath Time is saying here, says POTUS, glad you can make me laugh about the tariff war happening. It's been brutal here, but let's not go down that path. Yeah.
My mother was in Canada last week. She told me all about it.
Oh, funny, my auntie came over from Canada. We had a birthday party for my uncle the other day. So she just surprised me on Sunday morning. I was about to start football. She said, I'm in the country again. And she's come over.
In at left back.
Yeah. Good one. All right. How do we get to those levels of tonight? I mean, yeah, just quickly, with who's left in the competition. I mean, it's quite... there's a new format, isn't it? Which is gone basically the Super League they're playing now.
Yeah,
everyone can play each other.
It's been great.
Yeah, obviously Arsenal are now sort of got their nose into the next round. But who else do you fancy in this competition? You got Inter, PSG, Bayern Munich, Aston Villa, and obviously Barcelona. Who do you fancy?
They're all good teams, and it feels like boxing, where styles make fights. And you've got like Aston Villa, who are like incredible on the break, like with like the pace and the pace and power of sort of Rashford and Ollie Watkins and stuff.
Yeah.
I do like Bayern because I know you don't like him, but I wouldn't mind Harry Kane to pick up a Champions League. I think that he's an outstanding forward who is like really disrespected. You've got Barcelona, who are playing a really interesting sort of like more South American form of football, where they're using sort of emergent structures on the pitch as opposed to this boring positional play that everyone complains about. You got PSG, and I think, if I recall rightly, we all laughed at you maybe 6 months ago or a year ago because you compared Dembele to Saka, and Dembele this season has turned himself into probably one of the best forwards in European football. He's been incredible this season. I think I would quite like PSG to win it in a way, because it would show how like the team is more important than the individual after shedding Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe.
Yeah, good shout there, Bath. What about Aston Villa? They're still in. No one's really talking about them. Do you think they've got enough?
Got a chance. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. They've got. Look, it's a cup competition. Villa Park is a very fun place to play football. I imagine. Like I've been to Villa Park a few times. Really, really good fun. That stadium. They are, a sort of sleeping giant, as it were. Yeah. And they're now waiting. They've got European pedigree. They've got Rashford, Ollie Watkins, Marlon, Asensio, John McGinn, Tielemans, Morgan Rogers. There's a lot of players that can hurt you in that team, and they've got a very, very good manager. Don't forget that Emery has won a lot of European trophies, at Seville and things. I mean, if you were to ask me who I want to win the most, I think it would probably be Villa. It's just the Rashford thing. It would grate me a little bit to see Rashford lifting the European Cup.
Tyron said he'd love to see Villa Arsenal final. Wow, that would be... no one would have picked that, I'm sure. Crazy. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat, man. Let's keep it coming, because obviously we want to replicate that sort of night. We got a night coming up on Thursday, and hopefully it's not a 5 o'clock. No, it's not, is it? It's not a 5 o'clock kickoff like the other game in the previous round. But we're playing Lyon, and Lyon currently sit in contention for top 4 in France. They're currently 5th place, 28 games, won 14, drawn 6, and lost 8. They're on 48 points. And 2nd place, Marseille with Greenwood, are only 4 points ahead of them. It goes PSG top, as you would expect. They're going to win the league. Marseille in 2nd, Monaco in 3rd at 50 points, Strasbourg, as they say, in 49 points, Lyon are next, and then it's Nice. We all know about Nice, don't we? They're they're a point behind Lyon. So it's really a tough battle here in France right now with Lyon. They're playing us this week, but let's look at their recent fixtures because we don't really know much about it. They beat Lille with Angel Gomez, and Jonathan David at home on the 5th of April on the weekend, 2-1. Prior to that, they've had some all right results. They beat Brest, which is always when you see Nice play Brest, always a funny one. They beat Brest 2nd of March, 2-1. They were beat the team in the Europa League, the Steaua Bucharest. They beat them 3-1 away, which is good. Beat Nice away from home 2-0. This is all in March. Beat Steaua Bucharest 4-0 at home. They beat Le Havre 4-2 at home on the 16th of March. But they lost to Strasbourg, who were just above them in the league, 4-2. Just recently, by the way. That was Friday, the 28th of March. So coming into the game, they've got a loss, and they've just won, beating Lille at home. So they're sitting up there. They've obviously got something good about them. They're playing well. They've got Lacazette in their striking option. We know all about him. And they've got the guy Ryan Cherki as well, who's getting a lot of rave reviews this season. He's finally stepping up and playing good football. Apparently, Dortmund are in for him, as well as a number of different clubs. We get to see him firsthand. He's a very tricky, tidy little player. And he's going to be a problem. So what do you know about Lyon Bath time? Because obviously they've got a good history in French football. There was a period where I think they went like 8-9 years winning the league.
Paul Le Guen.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, he was their manager then, and they were a team that looked like that they were going to end up a bit like where PSG are now, that they were going to win league after league. They were doing well in Europe. They had some really good players, but that was that 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a little look at some stuff about French football earlier today, and the only thing that I found that was interesting is that in terms of how, like in League One, they progress the ball, it's done by carries. There's a huge reliance on carrying a football from defence to midfield to into the box, and this did worry me a little bit because we're not the strongest team in the world, and we're not very good at sort of keeping up with our runners and so on. So I'm not sure about this game. I think that we've got probably a bit too much for them, but it's if Rasmus is European League Rasmus or is it's Premier League Rasmus, because we don't have a lot of goals. But yeah, I think if we can deal with their running, if we can stay organised, we should be all right. And it's at Lyon, isn't it?
I believe so. Let me just confirm this. Yeah, at Lyon, Thursday the 10th of April, and then following that, the following week we are home on the 17th. So 7 days time. So yeah, it's a big
I think
game.
a draw. I think we'll be happy to get out of there with an away draw in Europe.
Let's just go through a few. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, we've got a lot of seasoned campaigners, like people like Casemiro and so on. And they'll understand the importance of just getting out there, quietening the crowd, like not letting them get up any steam, not letting this Cherki go on dribbles to get the crowd up. I suspect that we will be boring for sort of 60 minutes or so, just keeping the ball, not really losing it. And then Bruno will probably come up with something. But I think over the two legs, I would hope very strongly. Yeah, I'd hope very strongly that we come out of this with a positive result, because this isn't our biggest test in the Europa League.
Okay, and look, like I said, they beat Steaua Bucharest 4-0 at home and 3-1 away. They've got goals in them, obviously doing something right. A few comments here. Bart saying Strasbourg have a lot of Chelsea players since Bowley and Clear Lake brought them. He says there's Stuart saying here, best game of the season is Nice versus Brest. Stuart saying, Andrew saying, I thought you preferred Brest versus Young Boys of Switzerland. And Cherki will do well at Dortmund, and after a couple of seasons, United will buy him for 60 million, says Bart. Do you remember these great players from the
Yeah.
time you were talking about? Yeah, obviously you had Hugo Lloris, sorry, Juninho, the free kick taker. Don't know if many people know this, but when we played in the World Club Championship with Romario and Edmundo, when they destroyed us
Is it
many years ago,
Flamengo?
it was Corinthians, was it?
Is it Corinthians?
Cruz, yeah, Corinthian. Yeah, I can't pronounce it now.
Corinthians.
Corinthians, yeah. Edmundo and Romario, they destroyed us, but Juninho was playing for them in that game many moons ago.
They're saying it was Vasco da Gama.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, Vasco. Sorry, forgive me. It was Vasco. Yeah, but Juninho was in that side as well against us. Wasn't really well known back then, but yeah, I've watched that game recently. We got Potter saying it's true about the French league. They love those baller type players that can go box to box. I was half listening to what you said there. So you're basically saying,
thank you.
Well, I was only taking. I was trying to read comments and organise to go to the league table and everything. But you're saying with the French football, they tend to sort of drive at people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like basically, their main way of sort of getting the ball up the pitch is progression from their defenders. So, like, so it's going to be interesting who he picks in the front line, because a player's going to pick up the ball and drive basically all the time against us, and a lot of good physical players come out of the French league, like Newcastle United and my old mate Carr used to like sign a lot of them, like Cheick Tiote, Ben Arthur, players like that. I think it's going to be a hard night, like, and we really need to defend from the front.
So keep that in mind, guys, because I don't know much about Lyon or French football at the moment. You'd think United were over two legs, says Andrew. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, just to say, I want to say credit to you and Dora. You've done the post-match reaction from everyone saying it was a boring game, but we cancelled out Arsenal. We've cancelled out City as well, which is kind of progress in a way to sort of make us more secure. Anything you
I
can
knew
take
you'd be positive.
game, yeah,
I knew you'd be positive about it.
That's the area I'm going on with that
Yeah.
game. Obviously, we have to be able to be secure and be able to go into a game and be able to sort of defend.
And carry a threat, which we did.
Well, you're saying we did. So there is.
Yeah, we did carry a threat. Yeah, we had.
I never really saw the game properly. So over to you, Bart. Just tell me, are we looking stronger in defence and sort of neutralise teams?
Yeah, I mean, it was a terrible game in some aspects, but the quality of our block and the quality of the defending, the quality of all the boring stuff that no one likes was exceptionally high. Like, it's the first time I've seen that 3 at the back system be able to successfully hand off runners so that the channel isn't like wide open. We were really, really solid in the block. The space they got was mainly outside, and they didn't really have the quality to hurt us. Like, most of their chances, to be honest, came from Casemiro, Ugarte, and Maguire, like, doing stupid passes. But you know, and also there were 2 or 3 really good chances. Like, Dorgu had a really good chance, but he took an awful first touch. Garnacho like fell on the floor and things. Ugarte had a couple of volleys that skewed wide. But it's like, if you're looking at like a kind of base for playing in a European game, it's a really, really good one, because we were tight. We made them battle. We denied the space in behind. They had to break us down. City weren't good enough to do it. And like, our rest attack, whilst not perfect, we were able to counter and get in behind, and with better quality, we would have we probably would have won that game 2-0.
Wow, it's good. It's good to see. I mean, good timing to sort of be in a sort of position where we can actually blow up, because we're looking at a good result this season where everything comes together, and we've seen it in moments, but hopefully with that base, that sort of foundation, we can go and do something in the cup competition where it really matters. That's all we have to play for this season. Mr. Post saying here, I watch a lot of French league. As I got on his app there, I watched Marseille versus Toulouse on the weekend. Great match. I think it was 3-2 or something like that. I know Greenwood scored a beautiful goal with his right foot, but obviously we can't talk about Greenwood. He's long gone. But wow, what player, two-footed player. He's doing the business out there in France
Is
right
he?
now. Yeah, he
I
scored a
thought
lot
they
of goals.
disliked him.
The manager told him off for a bit of unprofessionalism, maybe a bit of slackness, but he's scored a lot of goals and he's getting a lot of attention. I think he's second top goal scorer behind someone from PSG, sorry. He's been in and around there. He's got double figures already, so he's doing really well. So that's the French league. Going into the game after a performance against Man City. Wow. What's going to happen? Away from home, I think Lyon will definitely be up for this as well, and it's going to be a great game to watch. Are you able to take it all in, Bath time? What's your setup for you for Thursday night? Where are you going to be? Going to rush home from work, get your popcorn, and
what is it? Is it a 5 o'clock game?
No, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Then I will drive at an appropriate speed and arrive home around 7. But I mean, for me, the game on Thursday, the interesting things to me is who starts up front. I would go with Rasmus, to be honest. I think that I just think at the moment that he offers a little bit more than Xerxes does in the number 9 role. We saw Xerxes play 9 recently, and there just wasn't enough drive from him to make space for others and so on. It's where Bruno plays as well, I think, is interesting, if he plays him in the 6 or the 8. I mean, we need Bruno in 3 positions, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
We got a couple of players coming back. Like Mainu is likely to be in the squad.
Wow. Welcome back.
Mount has, come on twice now, and Luke Shaw was on the bench against Manchester City. So I think we're beginning to see what our first team is at the moment, which is Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire, Yoro, Dalot, Ugarte, Casemiro, Dorgu, Bruno, Garnacho, Rasmus.
So there's the base midfielders, Casemiro
and Ugarte.
Okay, so they played against Man City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So where's the lit? You wouldn't put the lit in the side?
No, he's a bit injured, and I think that I think he's got to fight his way back into the team a little bit. I think that that defense is pretty settled, and it's been one of the stronger parts of our game recently. I mean, Maguire ate everything up in the air on Sunday. He did. His passing was diabolical, but he was really good, at sort of winning his duels and so on. Yoro was outstanding, and Mazraoui he's kind of back to that kind of rude form. He hasn't been great under Amarin, but he's worked his way back. And I mean, I think a lot of people here are saying that Mount are going to play. That Mount is going to play. If that's the case, I would like to see Casemiro and Bruno as the pivot, with Mount and Garnacho as the 2, but I suspect it'll be Bruno and Ugarte probably. Because can Casemiro play 2 games in a week? I'm not sure, but that my team I'd have Bruno and Casemiro in the middle.
No argument from me. The only thing I would suggest, I mean, you gave your reasoning for Rasmus to play. I've always felt that Xerxes is an all-round better player.
Yeah,
but you justified it, I suppose. And obviously there's subs. You can make 5 subs, so you can bring someone off if they're not playing too well. Jale, how you doing? 100% agree. I want Bruno and Kaz in the 6 and 8 role. Not bread roll, but role as in
brilliant.
Position. We've got Jale saying here, Bruno works much better as the 8th. I mean, 8.
Well, I mean, what he's talking about is that at the weekend, a huge part of our game, we've spoken about it before, relies on the ball going out to Dalot, a ball popped inside or to a number 10, but basically it getting played to the centre and then a big switch to Dorgu. And Bruno was the only one who was able to hit them on Sunday. Maguire and Casemiro were hitting appalling switches out, and it feels that the only way we can really get going is if Bruno is deeper in the build-up at the moment.
I want to say hi to Mr. B's younger brother, Danny B. He's saying, well, just giving us hearts and a thumbs up. Big up to you, man. Hope you're doing well. All right. So kind of teams kind of picks itself in a way, doesn't it? It's not like we can rotate or think it's a European game. This is crunch now, isn't it? This is quarterfinal of the Europa League. And in the space of the next 7 days after that, we're going to know where we're at with the season. And hopefully...
Is it Newcastle at the weekend as well?
I believe so. I'm just going to check the thing. But yeah, I mean, hopefully by the end of next week, we will really know where we're at and what we've got to play for, because it's all dependent on this. We're 13th in the league. Newcastle away on a Sunday. And obviously the next Thursday after that, we got the return leg against Lyon.
It's good amount of recovery time from Sunday to Thursday. You're right. I used to go to the Newcastle away games quite a lot. I haven't been for the last season or two, and I'm not going this Sunday. Yeah,
it's a bit of a drive, isn't it? Newcastle's pretty far, man.
Yeah, yeah, it is. But the thing is that it's all in on Europa League now. So I think he's got to put the strongest possible team out, and a lot of players owe us a performance. Dorgu was really stinky again against Man City. Dalot had a very, very good game, but Garnacho was kind of wasteful and so on. Rasmus, I felt he did okay, but he didn't get a shot. Ugarte was pulled off pretty quickly. He came off fairly early on. These players have really got to start stepping it up, because they should be above the Europa League quality. They should be thinking of themselves as Champions League standard players that should be in the knockout of that competition, and they've got to show that. They've got to show that quality tomorrow. I'm really looking for Dorgu has got to hit in some a cross at some point, so it's got to come tomorrow. It's got to come on Thursday for me.
It's all about timing, guys. Man United fans, all about timing, and we're timing this season, really well. It's been a long, horrible season, but we've got an opportunity now to really get behind the club and definitely to back our team. We've got to back our team, guys. No negativity from me, anyway. Potus is saying here, are Ineos going to back Amorim in the summer transfer window? I'm worried that getting a result against Man City will have them thinking differently. I do apologise, says Jale. My writing disorder is really bad tonight. I think something and I write it something very different. Yeah, I'm the same.
Me too. Don't worry about it, Jale.
Join the club. Welcome to our world. Simon's saying here, what was Maguire injury?
Simon has said this about 3 times on Sunday. Maguire is not injured. Took him off because he said that he's coming back from injury and there's a lot of minutes to play. I don't know where you get this Maguire is injured from.
Thank God. Well, we do need him. I mean, this guy's been brilliant for us. Just steady Eddie at the back. All right, just a bit more news. Going to wind up. Obviously, it's late. We don't want to keep you up too late, but we're just going to wrap up a few things. But I'm going to just throw out a bit of news I've got here. Rio Ferdinand is giving us this shopping list for the summer. Interesting this, but it's nothing surprising. So this is from the Rio is I can't do his accent, but this is Rio Ferdinand's shopping list. There's 4 players here, and I think it's quite a good realistic list. Tell me if it's realistic. Tell me if it's achievable, and tell me if you think the players are suitable for what we need. So the first one is Victor Osimhen. Realistic, suitable, affordable.
It's realistic, yes. Suitable, yes. Affordable is the issue. Today, he came out with his wage demands, which is he wants 185 grand a week after tax. I actually did the calculations earlier, and that is roughly 20 million a year. It's 17 million before tax that we'd have to pay him, and the national insurance contribution takes it to 19.5. That's a hell of a lot of money. 20 million a year.
So what's that in wages a week?
185.
185. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but he's asking for that after tax. So that's asking for 330k a week in tax.
Oh wow.
So it's if we can do that deal, that definitely depends on Garnacho or Mainu going, plus all his bonuses and things. I think that one is going to run and run. There's going to be a lot of brinksmanship about that wage, I think, because he's obviously the quality we need.
Okay, next one. So that was the first on Rio's list. Second player is Adam Wharton. Realistic,
Wharton.
achievable. Yeah, Wharton. Is it realistic, achievable, affordable? Adam Wharton.
I don't know. He's an England under-21 international that we all like on the channel. We all definitely want him. It's whether other teams come in for him, like Newcastle, Forest, like Chelsea, like all these teams you'd think would be ahead of us. I would like to think it's realistic, and I would 100% support it. But I once again, it depends on sales, and the longer we take to sell a Mainu or to sell a Garnacho, the longer other clubs are in his ear. So I'd like to think so, but it's good. This is better from Rio than I was expecting.
We're 2 down, 2 to go. But before we do, Jale saying here, my top 3 players would be Kuna, Edison from Atalanta, I think, and Delap. I like having a bully in the team again, and Delap is that bully. Obviously, he plays up front and he's big and strong. Going to the final 2 players that Rio Ferdinand is saying should be on the shopping list is Matheus Cunha. There's not news about him recently, last couple of days, bath time. Suitability. Is it realistic? Is it achievable?
Yeah, I think it probably is. I've seen footage of him in Brazil, like getting harassed by fruit salesmen saying, you're going to sign for United.
Okay.
And my Portuguese isn't very good, but the translation was in line with what I was imagining. I think he would be a good signing. I would really like one of these number 10s to be like more of a runner, to be honest, getting ahead of the ball, driving with it, and so on. I think he'd be a good signing. But look, if you are a good Premier League player with a release clause, a lot of people are going to be looking at you, because if he's got a 40 million release clause, every single team in the Premier League can afford that without blinking. So is it a financial package? It's what we offer him. I'd love him, and I'd love to get him. But as I say, we've got to get the business done. Shout out to Mr. B as well. I hope you're feeling better, my friend.
Yeah, big up Mr. B, man. I hope you're doing well. How many red card suspensions has he had? I'm not sure.
About the same as Bruno, I would imagine.
Okay. I like him. Good player. I like him.
Yeah.
I would love to see him at the club.
Are you happy with these 3 so far?
Yeah, I think, we've talked about it. It's funny, isn't it? We've talked about him recently, Adam Wharton. I think he's a good player. Since he's come back in the side, Crystal Palace been on a good run. He just dictates the play, ticks it over, always plays with his head up. You want to see that. And so for someone so young, he's getting a lot of attention, and rightly so, because I think he's good on the ball. And not just that, what I didn't realise, that he's quite good on the tackle, strong and physical as well. So that's a bonus for me, and obviously for what we need. We've seen it like tonight with Partey and Rice. You need that physicality. And obviously Osterman, we discussed the other day, I did give him the thumbs up. But to be honest, when I look, that's the best of a bad lot for me. I do like the lap as well. The final one is Jeremy Frimpong. He used to play for Man City. He's gone abroad, playing for Leverkusen, won the league with them last year, almost unbeaten until they got to the final in Europe. But they had a fantastic season last season. They're still in the running for the championship in Germany this year, because they're only 6 points behind Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, I think they lost at the weekend. So Leverkusen still sniffing around. But Frimpong, he's been an inspiration for them. He's given them a lot of width with the system they play. He's always direct. He gets a lot of assists and goals, and he's rapid as well. And everyone's talked about him. What are your thoughts on this? Is it realistic? Is it achievable? How much do you think this could be?
It's a straight no from me, because I believe that we should be focusing our funds and our resources on the spine of the team before we sort of like get in wide players. He's a good player, no doubt about it. Can he adapt to the Premier League? I'm not sure. Does he make a huge difference? I'm not sure. I think that Dalot, as often as he's pillared like on this channel and others, I think Delot's a really good player. Him at like right wing back. I think that like we can strengthen in different areas. I also think he's going to be outrageously expensive. On the plus side, he's played in that sort of Xabi Alonso system, which looks to be very similar to our system.
Yeah,
he knows the city, knows the language. You'd assume that he'd fit in well, and I wouldn't like be upset at all. I'd be thrilled if we signed him. But I do think that I would prefer to get a new goalkeeper in, for example, than a new right back, or I prefer another defender. Like with the situation with defenders. I'm surprised Rio hasn't got one on his list. We need a central defender and a striker and a central midfielder above all.
Maybe Rio's making a comeback and he'll step in and do the business.
QPR, he did that at.
Yeah. And then had to retire.
Yeah.
We have 2 windows this time, Warner, this summer, so let's make proper use of them this time. And Frimpong is homegrown as well. Don't forget that.
Yes.
Obviously, that's a big issue going into next season. Let's get some decent players in both windows. We can start by selling Anthony Rashford, who are both doing well with their loan clubs. Just speaking of Rashford here, PSV football advisor Luis Campos has renewed contact with Marcus Rashford's entourage. It is unclear whether Aston Villa will opt to sign Rashford permanently, whilst PSG are set to be in the market for a forward. They're playing Aston Villa, aren't they, in the Champions League?
Yeah, it could be a bit of naughty buggers that from PSG. But
I see you mean.
Yeah, like I think they did that to Van Dijk before the Liverpool game as well. So they'd love to sign him on a free. I think that like this is just good news for Manchester United. The more people who get involved in that Rashford race, the better. There's a long-standing link to PSG with Rashford. Like he's always, he seems to like it, and so on. I just want him sold quickly, because if we sell him for 40 million on day one, that is better than selling him for 50 million 6 weeks later, because it means we can just get on with our business. And that's what I want. I want a nice handshake. I want, like, Rashford, he's been a bit of an issue for 2 seasons and so on. Just want him to just bugger off and go and like develop as a player, enjoy his career, like, because it's whatever he had at Manchester United, I think, has kind of been torn apart by his actions, but also the fans and stuff. And he got booed at the start of this season when he was playing quite well, and then he had that ridiculous video about having to catch buses. I think a nice parting of the ways is all I really want on this.
And he made a comment the other day. There's an interview of him post-match when Villa played the other day, and he said something along the lines, he's happy at Villa playing, enjoying his football again, or something along them lines, which I think people just took as a dig at Amorim somehow. Anything, you can't say anything these days without someone reading into it. So it's big no from Stuart. You don't need to read into that. That's obvious. He just doesn't want Frimpong. And I think this is a good comment here from Jale, because for me as well, when I was thinking about the right wing-back position, you endorsing Dalot. Yeah, he's been steady Eddie. But this guy, Montano, who plays for the under-18s and is in the academy, he's direct and strong. He looks like someone who's really progressing. He's playing brilliantly. Every time I've watched him play, he looks like he plays like Frimpong. He's got the pace and just direct and driving at people all the time and gets up and down. He must be
all right for wing backs, I think. Yeah, but if you take Ahmad as a wing back, we've got Dalot, we've got Maz, we got like Ahmad, possibly Shaw, possibly Amas. I think we're okay there. We've got more glaring issues elsewhere.
Okay. So we've got Potter saying here he takes 40 million each right now for Rashford and Anthony. Stuart definitely agrees with that, gives the thumbs up. I think Rashford will either get an FA Cup winners medal or a Champions League, but the FA Cup looks more like a reality. Obviously, he's with Villa. They're doing really well, deep into competitions. Potter saying here, yeah, it's true, yeah, but people take everything and try and whisk it into their own narrative. Yeah, this is what we hear. I mean, we wouldn't be... it's the way of the world, isn't it? You talk, and the people will interpret it however they want to. Stuart the Red saying here, I think the way that they are both playing, POTUS, we could get more. Obviously, with Rashford going deep into the Champions League, more on his profile, his stock will be going up, and that would benefit us. It's going to get bigger price. And Betis are broke apparently.
This is a load of bollocks. Betis are already starting negotiating by saying we need, a Kickstarter to sign Antony and things. I'd be very surprised if Antony doesn't move to them. They're basically already negotiating from now. He's been absolutely fantastic for them, and well done to him. He's had a hard couple of years.
Bath time. I just want to ask you a quick question. Obviously, you play football. What is it that Antony can't do well at Man United? Just sum it up and give him 30 seconds or something. Because just brief, make it brief. But how come he can go to Betis and be like the next coming of Den Nilsson or Messi? He's playing brilliantly out there. What is it that's really clicked for him? Is it the culture? Because obviously he's Latin. He's coming from South America. Spanish football sort of maybe more suited. Is it too cold in Manchester? Is it too physical? Why is there such a contrast with performances?
Yeah, it's a couple of things. It's environment. So it's like being able to communicate with people out and about and stuff. Like, I know, Portuguese and Spanish are neighbours, but they are different languages. But it might be the people around him, like understanding him more, maybe his manager understanding him more, maybe him understanding the style of football that's being played. And then from the sort of technical and physical aspects, Antony has he's never had elite pace, and he never sort of developed to kind of get away from that. You know that you'd see him run past someone trying to get his arm across them. This doesn't cut it in the Premier League when you're playing against man monsters each week. And under pressure, his ball striking is erratic. It's very predictable what Antony is going to do, but it's extremely hard to predict where the ball is going to go when he does it. And because of and that just might be a tiny bit more time on the ball, allowing himself to balance himself a bit better, get his hip in the right place, and so on. I think that he's not at the level to compete in our league the way that an Anthony Gordon, for example, can. And so a little bit more time on the ball, a little bit less physical opposition, give him a better platform to show, what he can do. And then you combine that with the fact that he just feels more at home, that his family might feel more at home, more comfortable in the Spanish, Sevilla is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's my favorite city in Europe. I can't imagine anyone not having a fun time there. It's incredible.
Well, big up to Antony. He's doing really well. You have to sort of give him credit. Jale saying breaking news: England got 5 spots in the Champions League, maybe 6 with us if we get into the Europa League final. Win it. Maz, in my opinion, has been a good signing, says Simon Warner. We're going to wrap up the show now. Just a couple of things. I'm just going to read out a quote from Paul Scholes, Bath time. I don't know if you heard this one. This is from Paul Scholes. Says players can be a bit touchy these days. This year, a United player contacted me and wasn't happy with some of the things I was saying. He wanted me to meet him at the training ground. I said, sure, no problem. I gave him my number, but he never got back to me. This is Paul Scholes. Obviously, Paul Scholes was a guy who used to be mute during his playing career. Seems to be talking a lot these days. Do you like listening to Paul Scholes? Do you think he's got a lot of wisdom and no bias or anything? Do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it so many times. I value practical knowledge above all, of people who've been out there and done it and understand, what it's like to miss Christmas, to go training and things like that. And, earlier on, I was sort of talking about how I don't like Vinny Jr. and things like, and stuff like that. And I've got no right to talk about Vinny Jr. I might have hit a ball brilliantly once, but Vinny Jr. does it every day in training and so on. I'm nowhere near the level of that. And I hate talking about Xerxes and Rasmus because I've got no real ground to stand on compared to them as professional footballers. It's absurd. So I do like it when Paul Scholes talks, and he often echoes things that I say, which I find nice. But I would think that he's talking. I mean, my first thought is Rashford. to be perfectly honest. It sounds to me to be like, it's just almost a little bit petulant. Like you rang someone up to put the frighteners on someone, and then they're like, "Yeah, no problems. I'll come meet you at the training ground. We'll have a chat." And they don't do it back. And Rashford's got history for this. I'm fairly sure he's been up at 1 o'clock in the morning, like saying stuff on Twitter and things. He said stuff to the United stand. I would suspect it's Rashford. And I think, like Paul Scholes is paid to give his opinion, and based off his experience. And, he played with Rude, Dwight York, Eric Cantona, Coley. Like he played with like real blood-smelling goal scorers. And he's got every right to talk about how if Rashford isn't showing the effort or isn't like working on his game.
Can I just confirm, this is bath time, he's alleging it might be Rashford, but
yeah,
we're not completely sure about that. But yeah, we're going to just touch on this. Stuart's saying here, players can't handle the pressure of the United badge, and Mr. B currently agrees with that right now. And Pota's saying here, like to see ex-pros talking about the current crop of players. They live in a bubble and think they are invincible. Rashford will go. He wants Champions League football, says Simon Warner. And Bart saying here, one way to get rid of Anthony, Haaland, Sancho, and Rashford is to sell Bruno and Ahmad and use the money to pay off the Vortex contract.
Bit of bitterness from Bart tonight. I think that he was really hoping he could come here and talk about Liverpool playing like in the Champions League, but they've had a bad result at the weekend. They're not in the Champions League, and like these aren't good trolls, Bart. There's too much anger in this. You need to be cooler and calmer, the same way that Darwin Núñez needs to be in front of goal.
All right, a couple more. Just going to wrap it up. Anyone in the comments, can you help me out with this? Or maybe bath time, you can. It says here there's growing confidence behind the scenes at Man United that Jack Morehouse is in line to make his first debut before the end of the season. Tell me more, Bath. Will you say no yet?
He's a player that is in the academy team. Yeah. He's a central midfielder. He's quite small, but he's a very nice mover with the football. Like he drives from deep a lot. He's had a lot of rave reviews. People are like are excited about him, and I'm excited to see him get his chance in what is essentially within the dog end of the season, and it's a dead rubber. It's not even a dead dog; it's a dead rubber. And so they're probably going to pop him in for a few games, see how he gets on, and depending on that, either loan him or he could be a player like that we can depend on next season. But from what I've seen of him on Twitter in the highlights, he's very good against players of his own age group. It's time to see if he can do that again in men's football.
For sure. Jale said here, PSG versus Villa will be a good game. Yeah, just for the fact of enjoying good football. I love to see that game. I've watched PSG this season.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to watch Villa and see Rashford and these guys play, the British teams, the English teams. It's going to be a great matchup. I'm really going to enjoy that tomorrow. And we will be going probably at 10 o'clock or thereafter. So enjoy the game and then come and tune in with us on the Man United agenda. Last one from me is the Turkish goalkeeper, Bayinde. His time's up at Old Trafford, apparently. He's coming to the end. As the goalkeeper will be allowed to leave the club in search of a more prominent place. 6 or 7 million, they're saying here. Well done to Turkey. He's had a couple of performances. He's had a bit of a nightmare a couple of times, hasn't he?
Spurs, isn't it?
And everything, but he hasn't really been given the opportunity to really show. I still can tell you how good a goalkeeper is.
He's obviously not that good a goalkeeper. I mean, he had that ridiculous. Do you remember when Onana was playing in the African League of Nations or African Cup, AFCON, and was like commuting back between matches to play so that Bayinda didn't take his place? I think we finally got a couple of games Bayinda against like Barnsley in that Romanian supermarket, and then he played against Spurs and he got Olympico from a corner. If he was better than Onana, he would play, I think, and he's not. He only cost us 5 million, so it's probably easy to turn a profit on him. And Tom Heaton is leaving. It might be time to kind of get a new sort of goalkeeping regime in, like a new goalkeeping coach, a new goalkeeper that can maybe push Onana, and we should be better in that department. But Bayindir, I mean, man, like we saw Onana do Onana stuff, and then Bayindir.
Mr. B.
Mr. B really enjoys it where I say a player's name and then go man afterwards. Like, it's one of his favourite things. So I think Bayindir, man, like good luck, off you go. You never had the personality to like get ahead of Onana. And one thing to say about Onana is he's a talker and he keeps talking and he keeps going on about stuff, but he just manages to get in that team all the time. And Bayindir can't get him out. So, you know, there you go. Yeah, for I heard 5 million, but easy to sell a keeper for 5 million.
Yeah. Freddie Woodman. Oh, right. He's been doing the rounds, hasn't he? All right. That's enough from us. We've done an hour on the show. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow after the Champions League football, Villa versus PSG. And maybe we're going to be in the Champions League if we can get through against Lyon on Thursday.
I tell you what, though, Yabba, if like, it can't go to extra time, can it? We can do a show tomorrow, but like next week or whatever for the extra time games, if it goes to pens, it's just too late to do shows. I feel.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Big up to Jale. Big up to Overhead Kick TV.
That's canny.
Yeah. We should be looking to sell Onana first. He's saying there as well. And Fum says Subvids. Big up Subvids, by the way. He's been helping me out behind the scenes. So enough respect to you. It's always appreciated, and all the time and effort and thing you do to help me out. Thank you. All right, bath time. We're going to sign out. Any last words?
Get well soon, Mr. B. There probably won't be a watch along this week. Our dear colleague, Mr. B, has COVID. So we want him in bed, resting, recovering, and not doing watch alongs. Yeah, so get well soon, innit?
Mr. B had a good win at the weekend, I believe, against the team above him. I played against one of his. Well, I didn't play, but we play on Sunday. We played against one of his players. You know, I'm talking about Mr. B, and we lost 3-1. Terrible performance, but yeah, he was.
Did you get your kit back?
No, still haven't got my kit back. It's impossible because and the one time I can get it is Easter Sunday when we're not playing a game, but I'm working a 12-hour shift on the Sunday to get double money, so I won't be able to go. But
Can you not send someone?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my colleague, my assistant. He's supposed
send
to
Kahinde. Put him in an Easter Bunny costume and have him bounce down there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. POTUS is saying get well soon, Mr. B. And thank you, Canny. I'd like to see you on the show soon as well. And yes, Mr. B, I know. Just quickly, Mr. B, did you enjoy the Arsenal game? I mean, we talked about it early in the show, but we just applauding what it means, you know, to beat Real Madrid
those free kicks.
And a great game, yeah, really great game. We're really impressed here, Mr. B. I don't know what you're thinking. Maybe get a word in before we shut this down. But Lack a Notch says overhead kick. Mr. B, let me know what you think about the Arsenal game. It's a Lack a Notch from me. And
a Lack a Notch from me.
And no, he was vexed, says Mr. B. So yeah, Lack a Notch, guys. We will be back tomorrow after the game. Good night. Sleep well. Lack a Notch.